Alrighty, what is going on? Welcome to yet another console coaching video on Valorant, and today we're going to be VOD reviewing my boy Dizzy on ISO on Sunset. Right, so we're going to hop straight into the video. It is pistol round, right? So if you think about the map, right, as in two objectives and another lane, right? So typically you'll have somebody mid, you'll have two here, you'll have two here. If anything, you might not have a guy mid, and they might just take a gamble and stack somebody somewhere. So, for example, if they feel like B is going to be attacked, more likely, maybe they'll just stack three there and two there. You never know, right? It's weird stuff can happen. But let's just say it's this, right? So the disadvantage that the defenders have is that they're limited to five people, but they have to cover a whole map. So as attackers, your advantage is you have five people and you can go wherever you want technically. So let's just say we want to push B, right? So on pistol round, you should five-man B. Why? Because by the time these guys are like, hey, they're B, you have five. It's a 5v2. 5v2 that will quickly turn into a 5v3 because this guy can rotate pretty quickly, right? So let's just say it's a 5v3, right? So you have a 5v3. That's a pretty big advantage, right? So you want to take fights like that, especially on pistol, because y'all can just kind of run it down. They don't have guns that are just like really great at getting multiple picks, right? You guys want to be really aggressive on pistol round. So what I like to see from you, I like to see you buy a ghost, and I like to see you buy your wall, right? And then you have flashes on your team, so you don't have to worry about like buying weird utility because they should be enabling you with flashes, right? So what I would like to see is I like to see you walk up to B main, and your wall should be coming out in a straight line from where you're at to block this angle while you swing out. Your teammates should throw flashes for you. Your flashes should give you information, as well as give you opportunities to get a picks. And once you clear the initial angles, right, you watch right, your teammates clear left, and then you can start to fight backside. So here we are. We're just playing a little too slow, right? Every second, right? So right now a smoke has already gone down, right? So the people here are like, oh, it's a B push, right? So every second you guys don't push after that smoke is dropped, right? They're rotating. They're rotating. And if you want to play off of that, like that smoke, you just want to wall this, right, and just follow your wall in, by all means. That's cool too. But yeah, every second y'all don't walk in when that smoke is there, that's giving them a second to rotate because the call has already been made. So we got to pick, but we've already given them time to rotate, so now we have multiple people here anyways. And then we don't go in to take that fight. So that's cool, right? We don't take the fight, right? But we're getting plant down. So what does that mean? We no longer have to peek, right? We play off the bomb now. Our win condition was getting the bomb down. Now our win condition is defending the bomb. So right now we don't need to be fighting this. So right now, as a player, right, obviously the better you get, your teammates will kind of know more. But simple things, right? Communication is really important, right? Just let your team know, hey, bomb's down. All we have to do is just play tap. Play tap. Right? No need to wide swing. If anything, your Reyna can like jiggle a little bit to kind of get information because he has to help to do so. And then when the opportunity strikes that they tap, just let your Reyna know, hey, swing, bait me, swing off me, right? Since you're one shot, right? And then you swing, you fight as best as you can, and then your Reyna swings off you while you do that, and then you might be eliminated, but your Reyna gets an opportunity to get a pick, right? But your Reyna decides to fight separately because no communication was made. So now you're one shot, boom, and that's round. Also, pistol round. When everybody in your team gets eliminated, you get a certain amount of money. Let's say it's, let's say it's 500, right? I'm not sure the exact amount, but let's just say it's 500, right? Pistols aren't worth that much. So by everybody getting eliminated, your whole team gets 500. That's pretty dope, right? If one person on your team survives, you don't get that bonus, right? So and that's every round that happens, right? But the difference is when you have a rifle that's worth 2,900, that 500 means nothing to you. So you want to save that rifle, right? Because it's worth a lot more than this 500, right? So this round you need to let your teammate know like you need to go die, right? It's a 1v3. It's highly unwinnable, but it's not impossible. Give it a try. And if you lose, you lose. That's whatever. You lost already. All right. So now we're really gonna try to mostly focus on you, but I do want to give you like little like blips of like just game sense in general. Like if somebody else gives me an opportunity to give you some. So now, boom, you lost pistol round. You don't buy anything. Nope, 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 nope. Don't buy nothing. Why? Because if you lose this round with your economy's already bad. This guy didn't die, so it's even worse, right? Um, if you lose this round with buying weapons, your economy just goes to shit. And now you're in like these guys are gonna be so much ahead of you. They're always gonna have rifles when you guys need to be saving, and you're gonna have to save extra rounds that you shouldn't have to, right? And it's gonna make you give more rounds, right? So just don't buy nothing. Don't buy nothing. The goal for this round is to just be ratty and get picks, right? Put people in weird positions. Whether you want to 5 stack run a site again, right? Or if you want to just play ratty and try to get picks, just what I'm saying, just do that, right? Put people in weird angles, try to get picks, right? The goal of this round is not to win. The goal is to get as many guns out of their hands as possible. And if you get a plant down, that's a bonus. If you win, that's huge, right? But if you lose this round, but you're able to get 2 to 3 picks, that's huge. Though that's 3 guns that are gone, right, from their team, and they have to spend. That's money that they have to spend, right? So your goal is not necessarily to win this round. You want to win it, but the main goal is to get as many guns out of their hands as possible. So both smokes are down. Same thing we said earlier. Every second you don't walk out when those smokes are down, um, the enemy team's gonna get time to walk out. I wouldn't mind here if we just like got wingman down and then we took like a weird fight here where we go in smoke, we flash out of smoke here. But yeah, we have to walk out. For it. Need to be aware of when smokes are coming down, whether your smoke player is calling it or you're looking at the map. But like you guys need when smokes are out, you guys need to go because those smokes are gonna fall, and when they fall, you're not gonna get a smoke for a while, especially on certain characters, right? So bam. So now we're round 3, and we have money to buy some guns, right? So we should, right? This guy's freaking broke because he bought up last round. So you're gonna have one guy that's not on a rifle. Your team has elected to do an A push, right? So one thing that I can use this as an opportunity too. When you are in pre-round, right? That is the time to plan. Why? Because when you're in the middle of a round, it's really hard to communicate and get people to do the same thing, because there's a lot of stress and everybody's worried about different things, different angles, different, whatever, right? So before the round starts, you want to be planning. Don't talk about what happened last round. Don't talk about what you had for lunch. If you're playing rank to be serious and climb, you need to plan. Plan, 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 plan. Any plan is better than no plan. Your team has elected to go A. That's cool, right? But we could have a little bit more detail in that plan so that we could play off it a little bit better, right? Also, you're a duelist, right? And I can already see you going over here, right? You're looking for some weird stuff over here, right? No. If the plan is to push A, right? We need to push A. You're a duelist. You shouldn't be lurking. If you're going to be lurking, you shouldn't be on duelist. So now there's at least 2 there. Teamwork. You should be looking to. This guy's looking to fight here. Follow him. Don't let him fight by himself. Because if he peeks his angle and he dies, that's them equalizing, right? In any event where you have numbers, right? So numbers, right? They mean just how many people you have, right? This is a 4v2. Never take one-on-ones when you have number. You want to always take a fight where either you have the advantage or the advantage is basically equal, right? You guys want to stack up. You don't want to give them a chance to win a 1v2, win a 2v2 here, and now that 4v2 turns into a 2v2, right? You want to make sure that every fight you take is at their severe disadvantage. So him taking this fight by himself is no bueno. You need to be literally on his heels. You walking here, no. Literally sprint. I don't care if you're making noise. You need to be with him because if he loses that fight there, not good. Okay. So we have information, right? We know one's here. We know one's here, right? There's 3 of them. So the only place that we don't have any visual coverage is here, right? So what we need to do is you guys can take a fight probably against that ISO, but you need to kind of hold this angle first, right? Somebody needs to be holding it. And then again, there's the threat of this guy. So I would just somebody can probably he probably won't peek in the 2 because that's dumb. So he might hold and wait for his teammates to come out. So if anything, I would just kind of put focus on here until your KJ gets here and then is able to watch it, and then you guys can like make a play on something. Because what happens is you walk up, KJ is not in position. He got timed because he's playing too slow, and now you are in a very bad predicament, and your crosshair placement is not at his head, so you're not even gonna get this kill. So you guys are fighting for mid, so I'm okay with this. Nice. Ah, you hear the shield pop, bro. You hear the shield pop, and you reload. You have 17 bullets. Bruh. What are we doing? We have 17 rounds. That's enough to get like at least two kills, bro. Why are we reloading? You just heard his shield pop mid. Now, about to get smoked. Holy moly. What are we doing? He kills you both. No. Oh my, that's so bad. Right, so your Reyna has ult and he's planning on popping ult, so what do? Right? He wants to be the first one in. He wants to take those fights. You're a duelist as well, but you're also a duelist who has initiator properties, right? And what does that mean? Your utility is not inherently selfish, right? You have a wall, you have a vulnerable, right? So you have two abilities that are really good at helping your team. So if I were you, what I would do is I would throw a vulnerable through this wall and the round starts, allowing your Reyna to swing that angle. So I would throw a vulnerable and then hold this angle, let your Reyna swing, and then once Reyna clears that, right, Reyna's going to start heading this way. Right? And then obviously you have more utility from your other teammates that'll help kind of clear out that angle, right? Especially since they don't have a pop flash, like you could quite literally just like throw the vulnerable here, and then have like a smoke come down here so they can't push through that smoke, or just put the smoke down in general. You have somebody watching flank. You're doing absolutely nothing by standing here. You need to go do something else. So it's a 2v3 right now. You want to split up, right? 2v3. They have numbers. You need to look for ratty fights, right? Split up. So now it's a 2v2 because you got to pick, right? So now you need to stack. Now you really need to stack because you guys are together. Now you guys have numbers. So I definitely would have more urgency when you're walking through this because you're gonna decay, and the less health you have, the higher chance of you losing that fight. As well as yes, you can't see because it's murky because of the ult, but you still should have an idea. Like okay, like like if I'm you, like I know that I'm like around. No, actually, you're a little deeper. That I'm like around here. I just saw my Reyna go this way. I just follow my Reyna out, right? Stay together, right? You can, even though you can't see the map, you still have a pretty good idea of like where you're at. I mean, I think we have the knowledge that someone likes to sit mid, so peeking before you throw your shield is not a great idea, right? So you're aware of that, though. So on defense, when it comes to util, I definitely would buy my vulnerable just so I can throw it for my team, and if it hits anybody, that's the free picks for people. Here's somebody mid. That'd be a good calm. That's walled for you. So that's great because that kind of eliminates that angle that you have to worry about. So I just walk. I'd go this way. Plus, you don't want to walk to that smoke anyways. Mm-mm-mm. So right here, any decent player will kind of just play with you and swing off of you. But sometimes you need to communicate to your teammate, play with me, play with me.
Oh, God.
Because right here, you guys are on two different wavelengths. Even if you die here, if he swings and gets that pick, that's huge, right? And the round is still winnable. Make sure we check mid.
They're grabbing orb. They're grabbing orb. They're grabbing orb.
I wouldn't slow peek this, by the way,
I need you guys to come by.
because they have guns.
He's gonna activate the
AJ's one shot, 120 on KJ.
ISO's on their stairs or
So like we're walking right now, but like you need to like get up, because at this point somebody could be here already, and you guys have like no control of the site.
ISO hit him for 60. Fuck, man.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
ISO's their spawn stairs.
She's just seen you. She's expecting you to swing this again, so don't swing it again. Change your angle. She has a better gun than you. You have a pistol.
How the fuck?
Jump off, change your headlight.
Yeah, one for it.
Yeah, after I'm telling you.
So right here, it's like, what are you doing, right? You need to think. You need to be thinking about what kind of impact your positioning has. If a fight breaks out right here, do you do anything here? No. So why are you so far back? Even if you're like at this wall, looking to throw a vulnerable through, right? So that you can like assist your team to fight this. That's better than what you're doing right now, right? Positioning matters a lot. You always need to be in a position to provide value to your team. So nothing A. You guys cleared all of this out, so there's only two places they can be. So currently, right? This is what we're working with right now. And as you walk up, you clear more area, right? So I'd be very wary of people possibly being in this area here for you. So Gecko's cleared this, no one's there. Reyna's cleared this. They're probably gonna look mid to clear mid. So now your whole worry is this lane here, right? And you're slow peeking. Somebody could have been right here and right here. You're not aiming at head level, so that could have been a death there.
ISO is their spawn.
Holy moly! Look at your crosshair placement. It's not like watching any threats, right? You need to work on slicing the pie. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you know what that is, but basically, it would be you would like peek this angle, right? And you would just slowly peek more and more and more and more until you get to there, right? And obviously you have a vandal, so you could have like hugged the wall back here to give yourself even a more advantageous fight, because the farther you are away from the angle, the faster you'll see them compared to them seeing you, right? So since you hugged the angle and you slow walked around, you lose this fight
On stairs, ISO.
Yeah.
compared to you being back here and like you like clear, 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 right? Slowly clearing angles.
About a half second too late.
So right here, it's the same thing as what I said earlier, right? You're popping your shield when there is no threat in this area, right? You have a person here, you have a person here. You need to double up with one of them, right? You need to fight with them, right? You're popping your shield for absolutely no reason, and then you don't do anything. What are you aiming at? You're aiming at your gecko,
Smoking this off, Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
right? You just peeked at when if you would have looked at your map, you would have known Reyna was looking
If I
at it,
put a low deeper, but that's fine. They might better just walk in.
They're rotating B. Rotating B.
Okay.
right? So you popped that shield and got no value.
Yeah, ISO mid, ISO mid.
I really want to stress you need to break the habit of slow peaking angles, right? There is a gap, right? Where when you take a step, you won't make a noise. So you need to, right? You won't make a noise, and you can quickly clear angles by doing that.
Oh, yeah, B main, B main.
And I'll probably do a little video example to show you, because definitely got to get that in check.
No way, he's still holding that stair head glitch.
You just lost somebody there. You're on defense. Why are we swinging something where somebody just died, right? Nobody walked out. We are confident that they're all here. Just be a rat. Be a rat. Don't die. Because right now you have numbers. right? So why are we taking fights? If it's not as a team, I would have just left. I would have left. I would have went and not have just joined my team, right? Because what's the worst that can happen? You leave, don't fight this, and they rotate and plant? Cool, it's a 4v3. Well, you win that.
Flash Johnny, excuse it.
They're here. They're here.
So we have info that people are here, right? So what does that mean for you? Right? They don't know you're mid. They might because of the shield, but they don't know. So you can wait for your team to rotate so that you have someone to swing off of you, right? You can jiggle for info, right? You have options.
Yeah, they're here.
But I wouldn't full out fight this because he smoked off, so they could have got through here already. Losing shield to turret feels bad, man.
ISO's one shot. ISO's one shot.
And then you're reloading while you're peeking an angle, so you die. So we're popping shield before we know we're gonna take a fight, and they can hear that, right? So if they hear that, they're probably gonna wait it out. I wouldn't want to push into an ISO with a shield. So they might have heard you pop it. They might just quite literally be waiting. They know it's almost down. So my thought process is, oh, you don't have any util, but if you did, I would be looking for an opportunity to use that.
We have spike. We have spike.
Or I would just be in a position to like double up on my teammate. So I'd probably, this is the wall. I don't know if you have space, but I'd be like playing close to the wall if you can't play like right there, and just like playing off this person's information. So we have bomb now. So we have we don't have to do anything, right? All we have to do is just live, because they have to grab bomb.
Excuse you. You don't even need to flank then, John. We have spike.
I'm holding their flea market.
So
We have spike.
we're gonna talk about this.
Excuse you. You don't even need to flank then, John. We have spike.
So if we think about what we can see, right? So we'll use purple for KJ. So KJ can see, I don't even think he can really see into the thing. So I feel like KJ's LOS is like this right now. Your Clove's LOS is probably like this. And then yours is like this, right? So if we look at these, right? No one can play off of your angle, right? No one can play off of what you're peeking. So you shouldn't be peeking it. Because if you get swung by two people, you die and no one trades you, right? You need to be aware of these concepts.
I'm holding their.
I would much rather you prefer, because our win condition right now is this bomb. So it doesn't matter if they're right here. They don't have the bomb. So what I would do is I would just play off of my teammates who are closer, and I would swing off of their contact because I have a rifle and they don't. So now you have two guys watching front, right? You have one person watching flank. You should join up with your Reyna. Don't let him be by himself.
Yeah, the whole team was in there.
Because even though I typically say, 4v5, we should be split up, right? We're on defense, right? And we have bomb. So technically the bomb kind of gives us an advantage, right? So I would say it's more so of a 4.5 because they have to play for the bomb. So they can't just go wherever they want. They have to go towards the bomb. So I would just double up with Reyna so he's not by himself. Because if Reyna dies, the advantage gets worse.
30 seconds
He just still
left.
watch their walk then.
That's a pick. That's huge. He gets greedy and dies for it. But now you guys can't break that, so that's gonna force you out of sight. So you all should literally, this is the only threat right now. I would just all focus this because there's a guy possibly back there, right? So right now, I would say let's fight CT, fight CT, right? I want my team to help me here because like, what is this guy doing, right? He's not providing any value. No value. No value. He's not doing anything, right? Make him do something, right? You are a leader. You are a voice, right? Make people do things. You can't make them, but like, fight this with me. Peek this angle, right? If he would have been right here holding the shittiest angle, that's better than what the fuck was happening there. You need to guide your team to either play with you, and if they're not going to play with you, you can't take that risk. Because in the off chance that you lose, right? So like we have to use our voice. We have to be vocal. And I know you're new, so I'm not trying to like call you bad, right? Because this is stuff that develops over time, and that's why we're talking about it now. But like right there, if you think about it, you guys cannot play within this area. So what can we do? This door is closed. Somebody just died over here. That is our only threat. We have to deal with it. With what we've seen today, right? This is what we're going to do, right? So, things that we need to work on. Freaking reloads, man. Holy moly. This is Valorant, not Call of Duty. Stop reloading when you have freaking 10 to 15 rounds in your mag. That's enough to get killed. This is the game where you can one-tap people. Stop reloading so much, man. Stop reloading. There were so many times where you're reloading when you shouldn't be and you're dying. And it's obvious. And I'm pretty sure when you die, you realize that, right? So I'm not going to harp too much on it, but I need to bring it up because that was a glaring issue. And then we're going to talk about being a duelist, right? Especially on offense, right? What does that mean? That means entry. Because when you entry, what do? Right? You take fights. You create space. You take fights and you create space, right? Even if you don't get any picks, if you take a fight, you get the person low, the person gets traded. Even if you lose your life, right? You create space, or you can just get onto site, and now they have to worry about you in a certain position, right? Your job is to take fights and create space, not win fights, but to do these two things. That is your primary job. If you can get picks, that's a plus, right? So we gotta make sure we're being a duelist. No lurking. Stop lurking on a duelist. You're not doing anything. Your your kit is based off of taking space and initiating fights, right? I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna create space. That's your job. Not I'm gonna watch mid while my initiator has no one to initiate for. Like most initiators, like they can't play off their own util. Like they can, but it's just not as efficient as like if he was to flash for you and you swing with that flash. So now they have to shoot the gecko flash, but then you're swinging as well, right? Like your initiators need someone to initiate for. You need to be there. And then the last thing we're gonna be talking about is doubling up. What do I mean by that? Double up. It's basically team play, right? There's a couple times where you're way too far back when your team's doing something, so you're providing no value, right? And there's times where like you're just like not with somebody, right? So if we're defending A, I would like you guys need to be playing in a way where you're playing off of each other. Even if you're looking through a wall and you're throwing util through the wall, you're working towards a common goal, right? Instead of one person one person one lane, and then it's awkward. Like if you think about the map, right? On A, and I could give you a visual, but I'm not gonna do that right now. If you were to have one person in one person in one lane, that peak is very awkward because one person on the left side has cover when he's peeking, the one on the right doesn't. To see the same things, you don't have the same amount of cover, right? So instead of playing two separate lanes, you play like one side, and then you can fight together at all times, right? So that's the goal. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you the like slice in the pie clip, as well as I think that's about it. So we'll get into that slice in the pie clip. Just watch as he clears. So yeah, he's mixing and walking, but he'll unwalk, walk, right? Because he'll clear the angle. Boom. Look how he's clearing these angles. Alrighty, and with all that being said, hopefully you learned something from today. Like I said, you're not a bad player, you're just new. You have a lot of good habits, right? You have a lot of bad habits, from what I've seen, because this is not the only time that I've watched you, for people who may not know. But yeah, all you got to do is keep grinding, keep getting some coaching, and you'll be a good player in no time, right? For anybody else who's interested in coaching, you know where to find me. Drop a message down below. Let's get some talking. We can get some Discord talks in or whatever, and get you some free coaching, right? So without further ado, hopefully you guys have a great morning, day, night, wherever you may be, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.